Hi, Dan with Ask a Creative Director. The question today comes from Richard, who asks, is my MBA scaring ad people away? I had the pleasure of actually having coffee with a recent grad who has a lot of determination for getting into the ad business, particularly on the account side. He's had a lot of internships, and now he's at the point where he needs to take that next step and obviously get into the real world, but few creative directors are giving him the time of day, really, an appointment. He suspects because of his MBA. Is his MBA scaring people away? I don't think it's scaring people away, but I do think a little bit of creativity is actually needed. Richard has the MBA right next to his name on the resume, and it's possible that that is kind of setting the stage for somebody on the other side of the table to ask, well, how much is this person going to demand right off the bat, and what are his expectations? So the immediate red flag might be, wow, this person's going to cost me a lot of money to bring aboard and be at this first level, so to speak. So Richard's going to need to probably put that MBA rather than next to his name down in the education section, say, of his resume. Not leave it off or anything drastic like that, and speak to it if it comes up, but he just doesn't have to emphasize it maybe as much. Secondly, I think as far as being humble, I think one of the approaches he might want to take is, even though he knows he wants the interview and the creative director knows he really wants the interview, you'd be surprised sometimes how just saying the word interview can cause somebody to tense up. Instead, it's a little bit of a subtle approach, but an important difference in that you might say, look, I've wanted to be in the ad business for a long time. I know I have a lot to learn still, and a lot of real world experience to gain, but I felt that with this MBA I got, I needed a strong education to give me the best foundation possible. But I know that even with that, my real grad school is what's to come, and that's why I'm so eager to learn from someone. So when you ask over the phone for a meeting, ask for some information, but stay away from that word interview. Because you could have something where the other person on the other side of the table says, well, I'm not hiring, if you're looking for a job, I don't have anything. All of a sudden, the tension, comes up, and you don't need to have any of that. So use the word meeting a little bit more, or to get some information on the industry. Creative directors like talking about their experience to a lot of different people. They just need to be able to open up a little bit. I want to hear how you got your start is not a bad thing to say. So kind of position yourself for, I wanted to give myself the best education possible, but I know now coming in that when I go to the real world, I'm going to have to start at a level where I've got a lot to absorb and that I don't know everything. I think if you have that approach, you'll score a few more meetings, which will definitely help. Show that humble side, and not that you expect to have a lot handed to you from the very beginning just because you have an MBA. One other extra tip I would say is, don't worry about the agency side necessarily. Don't just look at the agency side, I should say. Use that MBA also to pursue things, if necessary, on the client or company side. There are many director of marketing who have worked their way up who needed an MBA, and well, you already have one. So you're well positioned with the education. Now what you need is the real world experience, and you can get that on that side. And in fact, once you've reached that point, say a director of marketing, I can't imagine an agency not being interested in talking to you if that is even something you want to do at that point, to switch over. So there's more than one way in with an MBA, and I definitely think it's a valuable thing to have and nothing to apologize for. but those tips might help you position yourself a little bit better in a way that you don't necessarily lead with it. A subtle difference, but an important one.